When the MOZA AB9 was released, many people were disappointed with its price, sitting at $550 for just the base, not including any form of flight stick. But now, MOZA has recently released the MOZA AB6. This product comes at a much cheaper value of $400 with a flight stick. It comes with the MHD flight stick, which is mainly meant for combat flying, but does not represent any single aircraft. The MOZA AB6 is noticeably smaller than the MOZA AB9. Although it is budget friendly, it still offers a very realistic approach to force feedback flying. I will say, in my humble opinion, the force feedback on it is actually really good. It can fully represent the engine vibrations, any turbulence, any landing gear movements, any form of stalls or air disturbance, anything like that. It can really determine when those happen and let you feel it realistically. Along with the AB6's affordability, it also features a decent 6 newtons of torque. This is relatively on the low side for force feedback, but obviously at this price, it is definitely worth it. And additionally, unlike other flight sticks that do not use a mechanical base like this, every time you move the flight stick, you can actually feel the mechanics inside of it. Seeing that the AB6 is not a free gimbal device and actually uses mechanics inside of it. To protect the inside mechanics, the AB6's base is actually fully metallic. This is really pleasantly surprising for the price, and of course having a metal casing always brings more assurance with the product. And if you did not know, the AB6 can actually be turned into a gear shifter. Since the flight stick is actually detachable, you can attach a gear shifter and change the settings in the MOZA app. In addition to a gear shifter, you can change the flight stick to be anything you'd like to be that supports that base. Airliner joystick for Airbus aircraft, or any general aviation planes. It is very convenient, and all it takes is for you to detach and attach a new flight stick. Speaking of which, the assembly of the actual product itself is really simple. Starting off with the top of the bracketry, there are 2 clamped pieces that clamp onto your desk. Then following, there is a middle piece that runs down, and then a piece that comes out which holds your AB6. All of this is held together by screws, which are pretty solid. To attach the AB6 to the bottom piece, all you need is 2 to 4 screws. These will go into holes on the bottom, and then after that they'll go into the holes in the AB6. When it is in place, it does feel relatively stable. There is some wobbling, but of course that's not that bad. Now let's actually turn the product on and see how it feels in a game. I noticed once I turned it on, it started calibrating immediately. It began moving to side, seeing the mechanics working all in one piece. And please note that before you open up any game, make sure you install the MOZA cockpit software. This ensures the force feedback can work properly with any game. So today we're going to be flying in the game War Thunder. This is a virtual combat game, including aircraft, battleships, and tanks. Once the device calibration was complete, all the buttons turned on, and I will say it does look very nice. The product has a nice neon green glow to it, which gives it a nice combat feel. Once I took off my F-16 from the runway in War Thunder, I instantly felt the MOZA MHD grip shake. This is because it provides force feedback for landing gear movements, flap movements, turbulence, anything, wind disturbance, anything like that, you name it, it'll provide it. And the force feedback itself is actually really strong. I found it hard for myself when I'm over-G'ing to override the force feedback and manually control it. And as you can see in this video, even when normally flying, it does have some shakes and bumps from wind disturbance. Moving on now to the actual feel of all the buttons on the MHD flight stick and the MOZA base. Unlike the AB9, the MOZA AB6 base does come with 2 throttle quadrants and 8 assorted buttons. This is great, seeing that some people do not want to spend extra money buying a throttle quadrant or an extra panel of buttons. I was actually really pleasantly surprised with the feel of said buttons and throttle quadrants. The 2 throttle sliders have a really smooth feel to them, and there's a lot of tension. And the buttons actually do have a lot of tension. As you can hear right now, they are actually quite difficult to push. On the MHD flight stick itself, you get a good assortment of 3 hat switches, a couple of push buttons, the big red fire button, and then another launch button. In addition, on the sides, there's another push button and 2 more hat switches. This provides a huge assortment of buttons, switches, and all of that for when you're flying any combat aircraft. Although it is not tailored to a specific aircraft, it can really fit the needs of all of them. The actual feel of the buttons is really good. They all have decent tension and do not feel like crappy plastic. Although the push buttons just feel alright, nothing too special, the hat switches do feel really smooth when you move them, and most of them actually take a little bit of pressure. The launch and firing buttons feel really nice, seeing that the firing button has two modes. If you push the button a little bit, it triggers one, and if you push it in all the way, it triggers another. I set this for small caliber and large caliber guns and War Thunder. And then obviously you have the big red launch button, which is used for missiles. The grip does fit really comfortable in my hand, seeing that it is only tailored for right hand flying, but as I said, it does feel really comfortable. It seems to have a piece of textured plastic on the inside of where my hand would go, which really makes it feel comfortable when flying and provides me with more stability. And additionally, a really neat feature that the MOZA MHD flight stick has with the AB6 base is that it has a rudder access. Of course, it has your pitch and roll axis, but it also comes with a tightened and untightened version of a rudder axis. This is a neat feature, seeing that if you do not want to purchase rudder pedals, you can just use the axis. Like I had said earlier, also if you do not want to purchase another throttle quadrant, it has throttle sliders. So it really is an all-in-one flight stick to fit all of your needs. I also love the compatibility of the stick, seeing that it is compatible with X-Plane 12, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Illusion 2, War Thunder, DCS, and there are many more that I'm not listing. So if you do decide to purchase this, I would most definitely recommend it if you're into combat flying or even flying airliners. If you're not going to use the MHD flight stick, that's perfectly okay, but it does come in a bundle for really cheap. So in my opinion at least, I would just get the bundle so then you have an option for both airliner flying and combat flying. I would like to wrap up this video with a quick disclaimer saying that MOZA did send me this product to review. This does include the AB6 base and the MHD flight stick, although I did provide a non-biased and completely my opinion review on the product itself. I will have a link in the description where you can purchase the product if you are interested in it, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help me out create these future videos.